unlike all these other self-improvement gurus, I'm here for one thing and one thing only, and that's to actually tell you guys what I think, the things that I do that actually improve my life, that I actually do and I implement into my life in order to make more things work out in my favor, in order to make my life more the way I want my life to be, in order to accomplish more of my goals. So in doing that, you might not want to hear it, but I'm just going to have to give you a lot of this straight. I'm going to have to tell you, just how it is. And one of these things that the reality is that when you start to get stressed out, the only way to actually fight through that stress and to get through it to the other side is to just do the very thing that you're stressing about. When you start to get stressed out, you're not supposed to just stop doing whatever you're doing and go relax and wait for it to fade away. That's all that's going to ever do is just get you more stressed out. It doesn't work that way. The only thing you can do is actually start to do the thing, start to do more, push through whatever it is, that wall that's starting to build up, and get to the other side of it. You can't just sit down and wait for it to disappear. It doesn't work like that. You have to just do the thing that's stressing you. If you're stressed that you need to go to the gym, but you don't know if you're going to have enough time to go or not, if you just go and get it over with, now you can worry whether you had enough time or not after you left the gym. But if you wait a bunch of time, you wait an hour or two before you decide if you wanted to go, well, yeah, of course you're not going to have time because you just spent all the time waiting and deciding if you actually want to go to the gym or not. You could have already been done with it by the time that you decided that, okay, yeah, maybe I should go. And then you look at the time, and you're like, oh shit, I just wasted 2 hours. Now I don't know what to do. It's like you were stressing out about the fact that you don't know if you should do it or not. You wasted all this time, and then by the time you decided you were ready to do it, the thing could have already been done. It's like I've got to do an oil change on my car that's past due. And I was supposed to do it last weekend, and I didn't have a chance because I've been busy. I was supposed to do it this weekend, I didn't get a chance either. So now I've got to do it next week, and I've got it scheduled into my calendar and planned out so that I actually have time to do it. But it stressed me out knowing that I have to do my oil change and that it's past due. But why would I put off my oil change longer to you see what I'm saying? Like why would I decide, instead of doing the oil change on Friday when I plan to do it, why would I wait? Okay, I'm going to wait an extra week because it's stressing me out too much. No, you just do the oil change, get it over with, and it's a done deal. Like even if the stress is the money for the oil or whatever, whatever it may be, the time, whatever it may be, if you go do something else and you know that you have the chance to get that oil change done, it's just going to end up stressing you out more while you're doing whatever other task that you're doing. So, this goes for picking relaxing over doing work that you need to get done too, or going to the gym or anything like that. When you choose to relax instead of doing the thing that needs to get done, what ends up happening is you think you're relaxing and de-stressing, but you're just sitting down in a more stressed state than you would be if you actually got it done and finished it. So now you're picking to relax to try to de-stress yourself, but not only are you stressing yourself out more, you're not even able to relax because you're too stressed out while you're trying to relax. So you end up just defeating the whole purpose of relaxing in the first place. If you would have just got the thing done, then it would have been off your mind, and you could have thought about the next thing that you need to do. And then you could have taken care of that. And then at the very end, once all the shit's taken care of, now you can sit down, you can actually take a deep breath, and you know that you don't have stuff to do during that time. But when you choose to not do something, when you need to do it, when you choose to relax, when you choose to go hang out with your friends, whatever it may be, you end up just more stressed out. Than you think that is fixing the problem, but it's just causing a larger one in a different avenue of your life. And then that throws everything off track. You get pushed further behind, and then the problem builds up more and more. So what do you end up doing? You end up trying to relax more and taking more breaks and pushing whatever it is you need to do off even more. And then you push that off more, and now it stresses you out even more. It's like you found this new training program that you were going to go with, and you're like, all right, I'm going to start it. But I'm a little stressed out about it. I'll start it next week. And then you're like, oh no, next week comes. Now you're stressed out about it. Oh, I'll start it next week. And then you're like, okay, it's time to start it. Oh, you're too stressed out. You start it next week. You're just pushing it back and back. You could have already started it and seen if it would work for you or not. But instead, you pushed it back further and you just wasted more time. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no point. Why would you be pushing something off when you could just get it over with? If you want to start taking cold showers, you're not going to go and sit there and stare at the water for 30 minutes before you get in. The cold shower only lasts a minute or two. Why are you going to make the cold shower last longer than a half hour? Like, you go, you get in there, you turn the water on, you do your shit, you turn the water off, you get out, you're done. You don't have to sit there and wait and anticipate, oh, it's going to be so cold, it's going to be so cold. You're just sitting there getting colder. Just get it over with and do it. And then next thing you know, it's done. You're glad it's over with. You can go do everything else you need to do in order to improve. Like, the longer you push things off that you need to do, the more stressful they get and the harder they get and the less enjoyable they get. If you just do the thing right away, the problem's solved. And don't push it off. Don't give yourself the excuse, I pushed it off so long, now it's going to be difficult. Okay, well, you pushed it off so long. Yeah, now it's difficult. Now you do it to still get it over with. It's like, stop giving yourself so many excuses of to why you can't do something. It's just you're just hurting yourself more and more in the long run. I don't know why you want to keep hurting yourself. Like, your goal is to improve yourself. Your goal is to live a more fulfilling, better life. Your goal is to enjoy each and every day a whole lot more. Your goal is to appreciate the struggle. Your goal is to get a better physique. Your goal is to build your car, show more people, post more. But you're doing all the exact opposite things that are going to lead you there. I know your goal is not to sit there and fail. I know your goal is not to try and ruin your life. So why are you not doing the things that you know are going to make it better? Every single day, you could be doing something to make it better. Every day. Even if it's just one thing right now. I mean, every day you can be doing something to make an improvement. But you're not. You're just sitting and doing the same nothingness over and over and over and hurting yourself more and more and making it hurt more and more each time. There's no point, dude. It's like do it for yourself. Make the change and finally decide enough is enough, man. You got to finally decide that enough is enough and that you actually can do it. It doesn't matter how bad it has gotten. It doesn't matter how much you've fucked up your life. You can still do it and you can still push through and you can still figure it out. But if you keep on pushing it off, you're just wasting more and more time and making it more and more difficult. All you got to do is start and do something. Figure it out. You've heard what you need to hear. All you got to do is do it. Even if you make the wrong mistake, even if you take the wrong path, you at least know now that don't make that mistake and don't take that path. You can only learn by doing it. So why don't you just start doing it and learn, figure it out? You're going to fail on the way. And your worry, your biggest worry is probably that things are going to end up worse than they are right now. You're in a position and you feel like, if 0 is rock bottom and 10 is your dream life, you're like a 2 right now. And you're worried that it's going to get to a 0. The chances are, whatever you do, even if you think it pushes you backwards, realistically, it's actually not going to put you at 0 because you learned. You're only going to get through 0 to 0 by not learning, and then that puts you to 0. But since you've made these mistakes, you have this foundation to build off, and you have stuff to go on to push yourself even further. And now you can do so much more. And you're only going to go further and further. And even if you do feel like you hit 0, guess what? You're at 0. It's a blank slate. You can figure it out. Even if you're starting at 0, great. You're starting at nothing. You have nothing to lose. All you got to do is push forward. You're in a bunch of debt. You don't like your job. You don't like your physique. You're unhealthy. You feel like shit every day. You don't sleep well. There's a solution to all of these problems. But unless you start something now, you're never going to get to that solution. You're never going to get there. You can't just think that it's going to happen and hope that it magically shows up. You can't just try to manifest in your room and do nothing. You can't just sit there and pray about it all day and hope that it's going to come true. God is not going to reward you with that thing coming true unless you actually prove that you can do the work and are worthy of it. And you're never going to feel worthy of it. You're never going to feel like enough unless you actually do things each and every single day and build that up inside of you. And you're always going to have a feeling that comes back occasionally that, oh, am I doing enough? Am I doing this right? But because you still do shit every single day, and because you work harder each and every day, you're constantly destroying that past fear. You're constantly destroying that inner bitch. You're constantly destroying that negative doubt that's causing you to be held back. But you're never going to get to the end of it if you just keep on doing the same thing you're doing and just keep on wishing and hoping and praying and manifesting and not actually taking action. Why would you don't feel good about yourself because you're not doing anything to feel good about yourself. Why would you feel good about yourself for just sitting there in your room and, oh, God, please, I'm begging you for mercy. I hope that something happens for me and something comes true while I do nothing with my life. And I hope it all falls into my lap. Why would that happen? Why would that happen? I mean, why would that happen? It's not going to. You got to do the stuff. And if all that stuff did happen, if you really did just sit in your room, and then later that day you walk out and you buy a lottery ticket, and you win millions of dollars, you're not going to feel fulfilled. Because you didn't do anything to earn it. You didn't do anything. You didn't put the work in to get there. And since you didn't put the work in to get there, you're going to feel like an imposter. You're going to feel hopeless. You're going to have all this money and it's going to be great. You're going to think all your problems are gone. And then you're going to wake up a couple weeks later, a couple months later, and you're like, damn, I'm in the same position. I still feel like shit, but now I have more money. So it's actually not great. And you're going to start to realize if you'd have actually just done the work and would have actually just put the effort in and become the person you need to become, you would have built this inside of you that you would have built this mindset and you would have built this understanding that as long as you do the work and as long as you put in the effort, you are worthy and you can do the things you can do. But if it's all handed to you on a silver platter, you're not going to feel good about it. you can get help along the way. You can find people to teach you things. You can find people to help you rise to the next step. But no matter whatever coach you pay, no matter how much money you spend, they can't do the work for you. They can give you all the tools. They can give you everything you need in order to become the best version of yourself. But they cannot actually do the work for you. And that's what's great, is because now not only do you get all the tools, but you still have to do the work. So you're still building this discipline inside yourself. You're still learning. You're still teaching yourself things. You're still doing things. You're still making it work out for yourself. So you don't get that imposter syndrome. You don't get that feeling of winning $1 million and doing nothing and just hoping that you were going to win that $1 million. Why do you think that so many people that win the lottery go broke? Because they don't have any skills to manage the money, and then they end up depressed in the long run. They spend all their money and they don't know what to do with it. They just give it all away to everybody. Oh, here. They call rich people stuck up and all this other shit. Like, oh yeah, you're too good for all of us. You have the money. Why don't you give me some? It's because they worked hard for it. And they put their everything in for it. And now somebody that's broke, doesn't want to do anything with their life, doesn't want to put the effort in, just wants to sit in their room and watch TV all day. Now that person goes and asks the rich person for money. And they expect it. And then they get pissed off at the person that has money for not giving it to them. Oh, you have money and I don't. You should give to the lesser. Okay, well, what are you doing? How are you putting in the work? I'm sure if that same scenario happened, but someone that didn't have money came up to someone that was extremely wealthy, and they actually had a long conversation, and the wealthy person actually saw all the things that this person is doing, and it did come down to a financial situation where they needed finances to do something, the wealthy person would help that person out. Because they deserve it. Because they can see that they're putting in the work and effort each and every day to make it work. But people don't want to help people that don't want to make it work. They don't. So why do you think that sitting in your room and begging to God that it's going to work out one day magically without you doing anything is going to happen? You have to actually do the work each and every single day. And then he will reward you with something. Then you will be able to do more. And this, it doesn't come down to if you're Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever it is. It's still the same principle. You want to call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, like, it's still the same principle. You have to put in the work. You have to become something. You have to become somebody. You don't need to be an egotistical fuck and start, being a dickhead to everybody, but you also don't need to be a kiss ass. You don't need to be nice to everybody. You don't need to be nice to someone just because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You just got to do what you got to do. You got to become the person you need to become. And you're only going to do that by doing the things. You're only going to do that by doing the thing that's stressing you out and just getting it over with. You got a leak on your intake manifold. You need to change the gaskets. Well, now you got to take off the intake manifold. You got to pull the injectors off. You got to, if your ECU's up there, you take the ECU off. You got to take out part of the wiring harness, take off the coil packs. You might have to take out the spark plugs. There's so many things you got to do. You got to mess with all the PCV hoses. You got to take off all this stuff. And you're afraid that you might mess it up. But if you don't do it, you're going to cause more issues with your car. You're going to burn more oil. You're going to cause some sort of problem. Your car's going to be running too lean now. Now it's going to run like shit. You're going to kill your rings. It's like, you're just going to be driving around so stressed out. Oh, I need to fix this. I need to fix this. I need to fix this. Instead of doing it, if something happens, and dealing with it. Okay, this bolt broke. What can I do to fix that? Take pictures of whatever it is you're taking apart before you take it. As you take it apart, take a bunch of pictures of stuff. Take pictures of all the hoses, mark them, label them, whatever you have to do to remember. That way you can put it all back together. Take your time. Do the thing that you need to do. And guess what? When you're done, you're not gonna be worried about it anymore. You're not. It's finished. The job's done. The problem's solved. You ain't got to deal with it. If it breaks again, you fix it again. Rinse and repeat. It's part of life. And you have an option to deal with it or don't and do nothing with your life. And then you end up depressed, hopeless, and that's not fun. It's not a fun road to walk down. So do the thing that's stressing you out, do the thing you're putting off. Win each and every single day. Make it work. I know you can. Have a good one.